All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are finally here for the grand final of the China Close Qualifiers for the Dota Summit 11. It is, of course, MLP Dota and John XFi. And John, a very exciting best of five matchup between CDEC and IG is just about to start. Sir, how do you feel?
I'm feeling great, Mike. That last series was something else to watch. Really solid performances coming out from CDEC. Looks like they had a really good breakfast. They're ready to go, rearing to go. And it's going to be a long one, a best of five between CDEC versus IG. I expect a bloodbath here, Mike, and I'm sure both teams will not fail to deliver.
Why is it every time you always have to bring it back to food? IG had a good breakfast.
CDEC had a good breakfast. They're on top.
I see. Thank you for that,
We didn't
Jonathan.
see IG play. I can't comment on their food choices, Mike. We haven't seen them play yet.
I guess we'll wait for game 2 then, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, the Mirana opening was there from CDEC. IG, they'll go for the Leshrac Shadow Demon. The very strong opening from both sides, of course, the Shadow Demon being denied from CDEC. They still have the option for the Bane, as you remind me every single time. Will they pick it up? It's not really necessary. I mean, they could just go for the clock again. Or go for the Ogre.
Yeah, it's a much more common pick. We see the Mirana Ogre Magi every single time. It's really strong. It does everything you want it to. You're probably not going to be setting up as easily, but Mirana doesn't seem to care after the Yules comes out. She can set for herself. IG, Leshrac, Shadow Demon. Pretty potent combination as well. You have good setup for the Earth Splitter. So you're going to have that easy setup into the stun now for IG. Going to be interesting to see how both teams draft around this. Are we going to be seeing the Emo Invoker once again come into play for IG? Will we see something very different coming out from CDEC? I'm excited to know.
Well, so far it's all the same. We'll have to wait a couple more bans before we get to see where the drafts are headed, though CDEC. Go ahead and get rid of that Ember Spirit. Pretty standard stuff so far. Of course, CDEC did look very, very potent in that last series. IG, of course, should have been watching. But IG as well have convincingly won pretty much every series they've had. I'd argue they certainly are the favourites going into this. As they will get rid of the Pugna. We've seen on and off. I mean, we've seen it once today. We've seen it banned multiple times now. And I suppose no team really wants to play up against that Pugna. I suppose with a Leshrac, you don't really want that Nether Ward to be available.
Yeah, it's certainly something that does slow down the Lesh. We also have seen Pugnas just absolutely take over the game. Force out those objectives early on for a team. You get so much push with a very low cooldown on such a hero. It can be a nuisance to work against.
The OD. Yeah, final ban out for CDEC before we get to see their picks. Again, nothing very surprising about that. I mean, it's just been banned out every single game. Or picked. One or the other. IG, what are you thinking about?
10 seconds remaining.
Seems like both teams are just very focused on those mid cores right now.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm surprised to not see the Invoker ban out from CDEC. I just feel like when you're up against IG, you see how Emo plays that, you know how often IG does pick that hero up. We don't see it respect banned as often as you'd expect.
You really don't. And I guess teams are kind of like, look, if they go for the Invoker, we'll just try and deal with it when the time comes. Problem is, when the time comes, it's kind of hard to deal with it. IG, they always seem to have the option available to them if they want to throw Emo on that hero. But for now, they're going to use a lot of reserve time for this 5th ban. Getting that tick down. Perhaps just deciding what they're running mid themselves.
You've got to wonder as well, how exactly will IG build off of their opening? I mean, it's a very open-ended set of heroes to draft in first. We do see a lot of teams dip back into Gyrocopter at this point after the ban phase. That could be something IG falls back to. It's still in the pool. And it's really... Oh, they ban it out. Thank you, IG, for taking that hero out. So we're up in the air now. going to be expecting a bit of a different draft coming out from IG. That Gyrocopter gone, neither side can pick it up. Would have been really nice for IG, but it would have worked out quite well for CDEC. Since they had the Ogre Magi, you have that natural buff for the hero, so just take it out. Make things easier for yourself.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
you are forced to really reevaluate your draft. What exactly do you want to get done
5
here?
seconds remaining.
YG, once again, looks like they're going to take their time. They only have 40 seconds of reserve time left. They are thinking very deeply about this pickup. Hard to know what they're thinking, though. I mean, they've got a very standard opening. It doesn't feel like there's too many issues going their way right now. CDEC only have Mirana Ogre.
Radiant team pick.
Alright, they'll go for the Sand King, so that should be their offlane pick. Very potent one at that. Nothing really too bad with it at all.
Yeah, I like this pick from IG. The Sand King can do a lot of work. We've seen that hero accomplish so much for so many other teams. It's nice to finally see it coming out here. You have a really good setup for the Lesh now. Very consistent. CDEC, they fall back to that Lifestealer. I can't say I blame them. Like, we saw a lot of good work coming out last game from Eve. They seek to replicate that here. You have a nice buff from the Ogre Magi. No natural vehicles just yet. You have a good retreat vehicle in the Mirana. Probably not the best to open up with, though. So we'll see whether or not their draft will incorporate something that gives you that natural
10
bomber. Are we going to see the Storm Spirit coming out once again for CDEC? I can see it coming out,
5
mainly because
seconds
the
remaining.
control on IG is not as instantaneous. Your best stun right now is that Sand King. Beyond that, you don't have any Hexes or any of that sort of stun. So I can see CDEC going back to the Storm that they did quite well with last game. If not, perhaps we see the Core Clock come back out. I'm not sure about picking it in this part of the game, although the PA does come out for IG. I like this response. Yeah, it can eat right through the Lifestealer in the right circumstance. If you do get the isolation on that hero, it can also be just really annoying to deal with now for the supports of CDEC. You do have decent magic damage to burst her down, though, especially on that Mirana if the PA is going to be alone. So you have some ways of
10
managing this
seconds
hero,
remaining.
but it does tell me IG's looking to be really explosive in their game.
5
I love it.
seconds remaining.
Up against the Lifestealer as well, it just makes sense. You have that inbuilt evasion, you're going to force out an MKB usage from the Lifestealer, or at least an MKB being bought. It's just not something that CDEC may want, and probably weren't expecting in the PA opposition that's come out from IG. How do they respond? I mean, they haven't really got the most amazing ways to deal with it yet. Of course, once that PA's got a BKB up, suddenly you really are falling short of how to damage this PA. She's quite susceptible to that magic damage until the BKB pops up. Thing is, if IG get a running start on this PA, I mean, they've already got the Leshrac there. You know they've got the push potential. CDEC are now the ones left thinking quite heavily about this pick that they're about to make.
Team banned.
Alright. I guess that's one way to dish out the damage to the PA, right? Like, you need the kind of like a massive spell to use, and Zeus has quite a few massive spells to use.
Yeah, I like this pick coming out from CDEC. It really will take care of that PA problem early on, at the very least, and until the BKBs, as you mentioned. Before then, that's a massive opening. It's something CDEC can abuse. You don't have that natural vehicle now, though. Definitely not going to be riding on the Zeus with that Lifestealer. We'll see whether or not they do opt to actually get something for the Lifestealer to jump into. I mean, we've seen Lifestealers without a vehicle anyway. They can still get that work done. A couple of heroes that do come into mind for the Lifestealer, especially if it's going to be an off-lane role.
Radiant team
The
pick.
Clockwork again. Oh, I like that. The Invoker ban from CDEC. They do understand. There you go. There's the vehicle CDEC was looking for. Batrider, Lifestealer bomb, ready to go. Really, really puts a dent in this PA pick. IG. Gonna be very hard to get this guy online once the level 6s are up in CDEC.
And certainly so. That lasso going to prove to be very, very useful for this Radiant side. IG certainly not going to like that Invoker ban that CDEC just brought out. They won't be able to go into that last pick that they
5
usually do
seconds
go to.
remaining.
So now, what do you give Emo in that mid lane? Alright, fair enough. You'll take a Storm
Oh.
Spirit. I mean, the thing is, apart from the Lifestealer, everyone else is quite susceptible to the Storm, especially throughout that mid game. There is still the Lasso, which can be very scary for Emo Storm, naturally. But the thing is, you've got to choose your target. Do you want the Storm? Do you want the PA?
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for CDEC to get a grip on both of these heroes at once. You have a couple of stuns, but they're not very reliable. The Ogre Magi has to be really close to get his stun off. And on top of that, the Batrider, while it's a great pick, we both agree on that. You have to remember, Ollie can stop that lasso from really being effective with the disruption. So you have some counterplay coming out from IG. You have a lot of ways of going in and out of these fights. They have some really clean ways to pull off these team fights as well. I think overall, I might actually like IG's draft just a bit more on the back of JT Sand King and Emo Storm. If both of these guys can get a runaway start, they can really set the pace of the game. It's going to be a bit rough for CDEC to come back in and force these team fights themselves. Their 5v5 isn't as amazing. They have good single target control from CDEC, but when it comes down to those really big team fights, you don't have anything like the Sand King on your own side.
That is very, very true. Still CDEC in for what seems to be a tough game. We'll still see how they try and pull this draft off. IG could be a tough game for them as well, but it does look to be a bit better off with this draft that they have. It's going to be a lot of pressure on XM once again. This time around, though, he won't have something like the Storm Spirit to rely on. He's going to be playing that Zeus. So you've got even more pressure now on Eve on that Lifestealer to really get that farm up ASAP. And I imagine we probably will see the same sort of item build. He probably will go for the Midas into Radiance, but I mean, like you've already talked about, if Fly, if he gets the start he wants, that Radiance may be too late.
It's a bit curious as well, the PA against Lifestealer, considering Lifestealer's build up to the Radiance and the evasion talent. PA actually does not enjoy building up the MKB, but it might have to come out here for IG. We saw what happened in the last series. You let Lifestealer hit his level 20, get his talent for the evasion on top of the Radiance, 17 plus 20%, so if one misses, you have another chance to roll. That can be a lot of damage dodged out. You need to mitigate that as the PA. If the game does go late, I can see Fly having to opt for that item. Although, maybe they just don't. Maybe they're confident in the damage from everywhere else to take care of the Lifestealer. It's going to be interesting to see as the game approaches that point, if it approaches that point. At some point, either side could really just snowball as well. If CDEC decides to pressure Fly really hard, the magic damage is just really way too much. There's a lot of good sources for it. Zeus alone is going to be very threatening to that PA. So once the level 6 is up in XM, I expect a lot of rotations just to secure kills on Fly.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like CDEC are going to be a bit aggressive going into these bounty runes. Already trying to find somebody up in the top lane, though nobody from IG will really pay them the attention. They all back off. It's still going to be a 2-for-2 trade anyway, as IG do secure the bot bounty runes. So not too big of a deal. It's a very even start, it seems. But there is still a pick-off potential attempt from CDEC if they want to run up the top lane and try to get them while they're blocking that creep wave. It looks like they won't bother though. They'll just secure those bounty runes. They'll get into lane. They'll just trust themselves to try and win these lanes as hard as possible.
Yeah, it's typically what we see here in the region. Not too much contention on those runes. Do see the TP out from Eve, back to the bot lane. Going to be setting up. Is going to be a bit of a rough lane against the Sand King and the Lesh. That's not going to be easy for Eve. It takes a while for the Lifestealer to really start building up. And you really don't want to be popping Rage too often. You have a very limited mana pool. So we'll see how long Eve can sustain here.
Well, Victoria's stuck around top. He's going to try and go for this first blood. Fire Blast arrow does connect. You do not have disruption yet on Ollie. He's holding out on that skill point, and he will just give his life away. So he'll just TP back into the lane. It looks like he wanted the Shadow Poison anyway. And we'll see what he does skill up. But he won't even bother trying to save himself. And he will go for the Shadow Poison. Fair enough. I think that's a smart play, right? Up against the Batrider, you can't beat him at level 1 with Sticky Napalm. So you may as well just throw the harassment back his way.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think you'd be getting too much value from the disruption. I think that actually just sets up much better for CDEC, keeping someone in place. In fact, James could just play around with a defensive disruption. So just going for those Shadow Poisons, trying to find as much harass as you can apply on the Batrider is really the best you can hope for. It's not going to be an easy lane either way.
Well, it's down to bot lane. JT on the Sanking so far has had a fantastic time. 7 last hits, 2 denies, top of the last hits board. Lifestealer not going to have the greatest time here against the Sanking, although they even go on Victoria now on that Ogre. The Burrow Strike into the Split Earth is a pretty deadly combination to have. At the very least, Victoria won't really be able to go in for any sort of harassment on either of these heroes in the offlane from IG. As there's always the fear you're just going to get double stunned and just get taken out. He's going to move in onto Kaka. You see the immediate backstep. He can't risk getting Burrow Striked.
Yeah, I like seeing this coming out from Eve as well. He's not hesitant to pop the Rage to just secure last hits. That's all you can really hope for in this lane. You can't out-harass these two heroes. Just try to find as much as you can, pop the Rage as needed, clear out as much farm as you can get.
Another Burrow Strike. No Split Earth this time. The Fire Blast did cancel it though. He'll pop the Diabolic Edict. Now Split Earth does not connect. Kaka could be in trouble. Looks like he'll be alright. It's too dangerous to go into that Diabolic Edict and try to find the kill, at least for now, for the side of CDEC. We'll have a quick look at that mid lane where Emo and XM are up against each other. As expected, XM is having the better time right now on the Zeus. That is to be expected. I mean, it is a Zeus. It's very hard to lose the CS war in mid lane, just 1v1.
Definitely is, and this is exactly what you want. You want to maintain this lead over the Storm. We have seen what happens when Storms can get that runaway start. So if XM can just keep this guy down, keep Emo from getting the game he wants, it's going to be a bit of a rough time for him to transition to that mid game. You're going to have two heroes that need that snowball start in the PA and Storm, and one of them is going to have to cop a hard time if both of them have wonky lanes. You know, there's not enough catch-up form to go around.
Kaka bot lane falling very low. Victoria just continuing to chase, but that Diabolic Edict taking him out. He wants that final right click, but he won't get it. Kaka, he salves up. They will find the kill, and it will be the Leshrac that picks up the kill onto Victoria. You saw Eve on that Lifestealer getting very, very low as well. Forced to back off with the Rage. But JT doesn't have mana right now to jump Eve again. So Eve will feel slightly more comfortable, and it looks like Victoria will come in and will salve him up so he can return into the lane. And in fact, they will go on to Kaka now, who came in to try and deny that salve. JT doesn't have a Burrow Strike to help out, and it looks like Kaka understands he is just dead.
Yeah, that's a bit of a rough exchange up top, though. Fly being chased behind his tower.
He is. Does blink away, straight towards that creep wave. He's going to be able to escape, at least for now. Still has 4 sticky napalm stacks on him, but they'll wear off. 1, 2, 3, those salves up, but Fly will cancel that. James has an arrow. Arrow gonna connect. James, he finds it, and with that, Fly does go down. James will give his life away, but it's well worth it for the PA pickup.
It definitely is. You're slowing down that hero. She needs a snowball start. We talked about the lanes from IG. If they don't work out, it's going to be rough to recover. Emo might be able to find something on Victoria, though.
It looks like he will. Emo will be the one to pick it up on the Storm. Nice rotation from him. He fills up his bottle, gets a kill, straight back into that mid lane. So a 3-3, a very even game between these two to start off. I would argue that neither side really has that much of an advantage. But if we're going to make the argument, I think CDEC is just slightly ahead right now. But that's, I mean, that could change any moment. A couple CS could change all of that. We'll have to wait a bit longer to see who does pull ahead.
For sure. The key thing is that in terms of overall farm, it is looking better for the heroes just a bit. You are also seeing a lot of pressure coming out, much more on CDEC's side, but the counter pressure from IG has just, you know, it's been on point as well. It's been an even trade. I think the moment we're going to see all of that change is when we see level 6s come out on the cores. The PA6 and the Lifestealer 6 are when things could shake up a bit.
Well, they are jumping on Fly again. He'll blink out. You have got the Storm 6 and the Zeus 6. In fact, XM is ahead of the Storm in terms of levels right now. JT gonna make the chase onto the Ogre. Victoria copying a bit of damage, but he's a very, very tanky support. He'll be alright. Kaka is persistent though, going after Eve now, but his edict runs out. Eve looks to punish. Fire Blast is there, and James jumps in, though Kaka's still remaining, but it will not matter. He tries to run. Thunder God's Wrath will take him out, and JT, he wastes a salve. He gets arrowed to the face by James, and he'll go down as well.
Yeah, those are really solid kills coming out onto CDEC, relieving some of the pressure that has been on Eve. He's been playing on the edge, just dropping low, popping his rage to walk out, just kind of dipping in and out, baiting in IG. In the end, it does pay off, and he does get himself some time to farm, but his Midas timing is not as fast as it once was.
Mid lane, XM being caught out. Emo and Kaka, bit of payback there. In fact, Eve will TP in as the lifestealer trying to help out. Arrow. Kaka. Oh, it actually connects Kaka. He ran into it. Eve makes a beeline straight towards that Leshrac, and Kaka has no way out of this one. He drops a ward, but he goes down. And I believe, I don't even know if that's the ward he wanted, John. He didn't quite get it above the staircase.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Doesn't give you as much vision as you'd like. At the very least, you're going to be able to watch that rune spot, but you won't be able to see those rotations from the Mirana. And that could be the turning point for CDEC, although we are at the point where lane rotations are supposed to be a bit more common, but James does need some more XP. He's been playing outside the jungle much more often than most Miranas do, so his EXP gain hasn't been as fast. His farm game hasn't been as fast either, but he has been making kills happen, and that is very worthwhile.
Very least, things are still going decently well for IG, at least for JT. Although, as I say that, Sentry's been dropped and he gets Fire Blasted up. He'll be chased down, but goes for the Burrow Epi. And well, this could be a massive turnaround as Eve is falling low, but they find the kill. The Infest was enough damage, and now Kaka going to be chased down as well. They have the control. They don't quite have the arrow. Kaka still trying to juke them out. In fact, a nice juke at that. James, he leaped the wrong way. And somehow Kaka gets out of there.
Dire's middle tower is
Still a
under
rough
attack.
trade. You don't manage to find Eve. You don't even manage to find Victoria. You do lose your core Sand King. That was the epicenter as well. I appreciate the guts to use that spell.
Emo.
You know?
Diving the T1 tower by himself for now. Eve will pop the rage. They've got the stun. Emo, he's going to get the hell out of there. Falls very low. Kaka will be there to clean up James, but loses his own life to XM, who rotates in on the Zeus. And that dive from Emo, I mean, he was just by himself. Kaka was still a bit far behind. He had to walk his way up. Sure, you got the Mirana, but what does that matter?
I appreciate the proactiveness of IG here. It hasn't been paying off too much though. They do find a nice kill up top. But going back to Emo, really early rotation, doesn't pay off. Still has a bit of farming to do. And I'd say that's really not the best start to the rotations, unfortunately enough. I mean, you saw what happens when Victoria just lives true, gets the stun off. Suddenly it looks very scary for the Storm at this point in the game.
Certainly does. Speaking of that Storm, Emo gonna come back to that bot lane. He wants to try and find Eve once again.
Dire's
Eve
middle tower
did
is
actually
under
scan out that top banner rune spot. He knew they were around that area, so he does back off to safety. He'll just farm up the jungle. He's getting close to his Midas. There's no rush for him. I mean, Fly on the PA is still 500 gold behind that Lifestealer, who is top of the net worth board. So everything seemingly still going CDEC's way. So IG want to try and turn that around. They are still trying to go after this Lifestealer pickup. Thing is, he understands something's wrong. Just dives into the tree line, runs down the lane. And meanwhile, top lane, Ollie ends up losing his life on the Shadow Demon.
Radiant's
Yeah, they rotate in all the heroes for that. It looked like they wanted to get the jump and fly. In the end, they just find that Shadow Demon. Not going to be too upset. That does allow them to get a bit of a shove going on to this tier 1.
top tower is
And I don't see any sort of defense coming out anytime soon. The same could be said of that bot lane. tier 1 down bot also going to be going down to a slow siege coming out from JT.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's
Both of them will eventually go.
Radiant's
No
bottom tower
team is really trying to defend their tier 1s. As I say that, Kaka does rotate up top.
Radiant's bottom tower
James will continue the pressure. Now Fire Blast will come out. 1, 2, 3 straight in there. He has Lasso available in JT. He knows it. He will cancel off that top TP. And that'll be that tier 1 secured. JT got the bottom tier 1 anyway. It's a direct trade. It's just Kaka's life being lost in the process.
Oh, XM.
Getting caught out. Emo finds him. Moonlight Shadow was there. It will not matter. XM, he's just trying to man up underneath the shrine. Actually, he does end up surviving through all this damage. Ollie's still trying to chase. He got 2 Shadow Poison stacks. It's not going to be enough, it looks like, as XM does turn around once again. Finds the kill. That was another kind of strange decision made. Trying to fight the Zeus underneath his own shrine. They end up losing once again.
It looked like they thought they had the control for XM, but they didn't. They didn't manage to keep him locked in place. I don't know if Emo even let out the Electric Vortex. They just didn't manage to stop this guy. The shrine was just enough to get him through.
is under attack.
And some of your rotation just doesn't pay off. You are giving a lot away of the Zeus now. You haven't really slowed down Eve. His farm's still going spectacularly well. Has that Midas up. Gonna be accelerating into that Radiance in a fair bit. And you compare that to Fly. On the PA. Still saving up. Looks to be going for that Battle Fury. So once that's up, of course, the farm is going to accelerate. It's not going to come out as fast as a Midas, though.
Fire Strike bot lane. Eve being caught out. Pulse Nova from Kaka, and it'll be enough. So as long as you catch this Lifestealer out without the rage, it is not too hard to take him, as JT has now got his blink up as well. They're going to try onto Victoria, though Victoria goes for the stun first. 1, 2, 3, does just commit the lasso. Go for the easy pickup, and now with the Zeus ultimate, it is definitely an easy one, as Emo going to rotate in. Going to try and go for this, though. Nice epicenter burn strike coming out from JD to turn it. They do take down 2 for the price of 1 so far, but now Emo being chased down by James. The urn is still on top of him, though he will survive it as long as he continues to walk out of there. And he will barely get away from James. Although, look at this. Blind arrow. James. He does try for it. Emo was expecting something of the sort. And essentially does walk the other way.
That would have been pretty scary if Emo got caught out there. That entire rotation, probably not worthwhile. Fortunately, he does step away. So they get a nice kill onto that Bat Rider. They are starting to be a bit more active with JT Sand King. He has his Blink Dagger up. He's going to be forcing the issue up against CDEC. And if you remember from draft, CDEC, they don't have the most impressive 5v5 big team fight spells. They don't have the biggest control here. So it's something IG can exploit.
CDEC looking to get aggressive once again. The Moonlight Shadow will be popped. Kaka just going to hide in the tree lines, but they know he's there. Victoria going to scout him out. 1, 2, 3. We'll be there with the 5 fly, and that'll be a very easy kill. They don't have the lasso for another 5, but they could definitely start chasing as Ollie going to be there. Burrow Strike will miss, but Emo will jump in. Can he dish out the damage fast enough though? 1, 2, 3. He goes for the lasso, but the disruption will save his life thanks to Ollie. Still Emo in the heart of the enemy. He doesn't care though. He'll go after 1, 2, 3. They found Victoria. Even the neutrals helping out the side of the Dire right now. They do take him out. Ollie with a double. Emo though still being chased down. James, he will help find the kill from XN. But it looks like James should end up going down. The Burrow Strike Sandstorm is there. There's no chance of survival as JT will clean it up. But I think if you are IG, although you did lose the Storm Spirit, you will still be pretty satisfied with that.
Yeah, you still managed to find a lot of good kills there. 2 supports and an offlaner. Not a bad price to pay. Still though, you are feeding into XM. He's not even in those fights. It's of course just the power to Zeus. And he is slowly approaching his Ags. In fact, I think that's it flying out. So he has his Aghanims up at 16 minutes. The lanes are going to be much harder to push out now. And the damage coming out from this Zeus might be a bit too much.
Ollie Burning out, and yeah, he just gets taken down XM.
That's the Ags.
Very quick one at that. Taking full use and advantage of it. Now, if you are IG, you've got to be very careful where you take fights, but they will jump straight on Victoria. The Ogre does just get bursted, and Emo, he is not done. Straight after 1, 2, 3 now. Gets the kill. Now, though, he may want some mana to zip out, and he does get away just barely. As Kaka is going to be there with the stun, and in fact, they are going to turn it Eve. Wow, a triple kill coming up from Emo. And CDEC, it looked like they were ahead during the early stages, but IG do not care, apparently.
I'm surprised by Eve there. He did not opt to rage at any point, not showing to the respect to the control that IG does have. And it does cost them. That could have been a couple of kills if they played their cards right. In the end, they are punished for their greed. IG now getting a solid 2k lead, 15 to 15, 17 minutes in. They are buying time for this PA to really get online. The Battle Fury is just a few, pretty darn close now. So once Fly has that tool, you're going to be hard pressed to slow down the farm from this PA.
Well, they're going to try 1, 2, 3. Had the lasso, popped the Firefly, won't go for the kill. There was shrines, there were TPs to the shrine anyway. As IG, they do smoke up. They want to go for more kills across this map. JT also has the Veil up. Suddenly, looking a lot better. Top lane 1, 2, 3. They know he's around there somewhere. Kaka will start taking care of that T1 tower. 1, 2, 3 for now is going to stick around as he doesn't have a TP available. And JT is going to finally spot him out. Gets the stun.
Oh.
There's no follow-up to it though. And 1, 2, 3 actually going to chase by himself. Perhaps just having faith in the Zeus to get the damage out through his ultimates. He won't find anybody. It won't matter though, he does have help around the corner now. So I say that. Burrow Strike, follow-up stun.
Oh.
Apparently not enough help, John. They weren't even close. They backed off and, well, 1, 2, 3 decided to go up at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's a bit strange from CDEC. They are slipping a fair bit of ground by giving these kills away. They still are holding on to that tier 1, not going to be up for too long. Kaka. Oh.
Fire Blast will be there, but Burrow Strike is out from JT. Straight on XM. They save Kaka, well, for a second, but XM will find the kill with the Nimbus. That'll be it for IG. They've had enough of that top lane. They'll rotate to another. In fact, never mind. Emo's here now. They have not had enough. Victoria gets jumped on. Emo should be able to clean this up, and JT will be the one who jumps in with the burrow. 1, 2, 3 definitely wanted a lasso attempt on that storm, but the purge was there from Ollie. IG, these little pickups they're finding are really starting to pay off.
It definitely is. I have to say, I am happy to see that 1, 2, 3 swapped out the travels for the blink. He understands that he really needs to be able to start these fights for CDEC. He needs to get that blink initiation going. So he's going to have it up much sooner than you'd expect from IG, especially if he was opting to go for the travels first, as most Bat Riders do. But instead, he will prioritize that blink. That might give CDEC enough to take these fights back. We'll find out.
Well, the tier 1 top does go down. Bannerun's up as well. It'll be a 2 for 2 trade on those bounties. James grabbing the bot ones for the team. There's that blink you were talking about. 1, 2, 3. He does pick it up now. I'm sure he'll want to make use of it straight away. CDEC, you'd imagine they'd go for a pretty quick smoke with this blink now, but they may not even need to as IG. I thought they may go for the mid tier 1 push. They do not. They are looping right around to the top lane again. They've got an addiction for this lane.
Yeah, they are trying to farm the opposite side of their PA. Fly now has the Battle Fury up, working towards the BKB to cover that weakness up. And they have bought quite a fair bit of time. Number 1 in net worth now on that PA. Switching back and forth, fairly even in the top cores. But there is that Moonlight Shadow and Smoke now.
They're going to find somebody. Unfortunately, though, it's only going to be Ollie. It's not really the kill you want to commit the lasso and these smokes on. You definitely wanted the PA. Now that he knows the lasso has been expended, Fly doesn't really care. He'll just go back to the jungle and keep farming up with his Battle Fury. IG, I honestly feel like you call that a win.
Definitely. They are wasting the movements from CDEC. They're buying a lot of space for this PA. I'm surprised CDEC has not applied as much pressure on Fly as they did in that laning phase. They've allowed the PA to really start to build up. Once that BKB is up, you don't have any fast way of bursting her down. And your physical damage isn't quite up to par yet. Still working on that Radiance on your Lifestealer. The right-click damage isn't as good as well. So you've got a lot of
Mid-lane.
weaknesses here.
They found the Mirana. James just gets destroyed. CDEC, they just can't react fast enough. Fastest thing they can do is probably just drop the Nimbus, but even then, it's just not helping the cause. And Fly is getting closer and closer to that BKB. Once he has that up, you don't really have an answer. Eve is also getting extremely close to his own Radiance, though, which could be a cause of concern for IG. But we'll see. I mean, the PA, even with that being against that Radiance, can still burst you down quite fast.
Definitely. The one thing that comes after for Eve, though, is going to be that Halberd. And that's going to cause massive issues for the PA if the usage is right. Although it looks like they are going to surround Eve.
Burrow Strike is there. Veil, Split Earth, Epicenter, everything being thrown out. And it's well worth it. That's the position 1. You slow down his Radiance timing once again. He's already so darn close to picking up that Sacred Relic and finishing it off. But he will not get it for at least another 40 seconds. As now 1, 2, 3. Gonna try and jump Ollie, but he gets disrupted up. Emo doesn't have much mana though. He gets lassoed. The Purge was there, but Emo's in massive trouble and he'll go down. And with that, Ollie, Arrow will not connect, but they can just continue to chase. Nimbus is there anyway, and Ollie is definitely dead.
Yeah, again, another solid set of kills going the way of CDEC, although it's not done yet.
No, it definitely isn't. They catch out James on that Mirana. And well, Kaka, he misses Split Earth. It will not matter though. Fly was there on the PA to clean up. They may set up now for a tier 2 bot tower push.
It's going to be a pretty straightforward push. You have Kaka around as well. With those Diabolic Edicts, if they do opt to force the issue, it's going to be a hard defense for CDEC. Not quite ready to force that one out yet. Lasso is on cooldown as well.
Well, looks like for now they're just going to try and control up the Radiant jungle. They'll let the creeps do a bit of work on that tower. The moment someone tries to come defend, you just jump them instead. Fly officially now has that BKB up, and he'll bring it out on the courier very, very soon. The Radiance is also going to be there for Eve. So you've got both of them up around the same time. It is a late Radiance timing, to say the least. How much effect it's gonna have on this game is another question altogether. We'll have to wait and see. My theory for Eve, though, is that he just gets kited around through these team fights.
It's going to be fairly easy to get that done. That's one of the things with the Lifestealer as well. Very prone to being kited around, although there is a smoke and smoke now.
Yeah, it's a massive smoke at that. IG right behind the side of CDEC. They just barely missed each other. IG, they may have to just transition for an objective instead. They'll place some wards down on their way out. But they barely miss each other. They'll go for the Banner Runes instead. Thunder God's Wrath will give vision of about where they are. CDEC. Looks like they will just kind of leave that be. Perhaps even go for that mid tier 2 if they want. I know they are set. They really want to find somebody. Moonlight Shadow will be popped. Unfortunately for them, it could be Ollie again on the Shadow Demon that gets caught out. They definitely want somebody else though, and Fly would be the best target if they can find him. They do settle for Ollie.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but they take what they can get. They didn't quite commit for the push onto everyone else up top, although
they don't quite find Fly. They wanted that lasso. So, Victoria going in by himself right now. He's going to get shown. Still, IG not taking the bait.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
CDEC are just going to patiently wait for their opportunity. Feels very dangerous to go into this team fight while 1-2-3 is missing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
Radiant T1 just simply goes down to creeps now. CDEC just were waiting for IG to push that top lane for so long. IG still up at that top lane, still kind of playing around here. Fly, does he jump?
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be straight onto James, but he's copying a lot of damage. There's the lasso straight after the BKB on the PA. He could just blink off the cliff, but he does not quite yet. He does now. Who does he jump on? JT's in trouble. He'll end up getting taken out, and Fly does not want a part of this. As 1-2-3 is continuing to chase. Eve gonna find Ollie once again. Disruption will be there, but it will not matter. CDEC gonna find another kill. That's a real shame for IG. I mean, that was the 10-second BKB usage on the PA, and as soon as she used it, 1-2-3 went in, got the lasso off, and it became completely useless.
That's a major point of concern for IG. That BKB is what they're riding on. Back up the Fly. Ooh.
Getting juked around by James. James eventually does go down. They don't actually punish Emo. There was nobody there to lock Emo down while he was doing that. So he does get away with it. Still though, CDEC looking decent. A 2k net worth lead does remain for the side of IG. We have a quick look at that win probability, and apparently it's 58% the way of IG, so they are still somewhat in the lead. But Eve almost has that Heaven's Halberd up. Like you mentioned before, that is going to be the painful part for this PA.
Definitely is. Even if you get that BKB off, if the Halberd's up, you're just going to be wasting that duration. And that is a moment of weakness for the PA. Should be interesting to see though. Fly is inching closer towards that Desolator, so his damage is going to shoot up a massive amount. And he should be able to burst anyone in the back lines now. Even that Ogre is not going to be as tanky as it once was. But he has to be able to reach that back line and not be interrupted by the lasso. So he has to find those pickoffs while 1-2-3 is not around. CDEC has been on point with that. They have been grouping up quite nicely in all of these engagements, just negating whatever advantage IG has built up.
There it is. Eve now. I mean, even just the evasion being provided by the Radiance Halberd is going to be super annoying. You talked about that MKB before, and now he probably desperately needs it on the PA. And this is before that level 20 talent comes in. He's still got another 20% evasion to go if he wants. And I assume he definitely will want that one over the open wounds lifesteal. Fly. Gonna run in with Blur, though. May get caught out. They did find the burrow, though, onto 1-2-3. He does find the lasso, just barely. But they can't find the PA kill quite yet. Eve, though, gonna turn around. Will eventually get it before he can blink out. The buyback from the Batrider was also immediate. He's still ready to go in once again if he wants. Epicenter, JT doesn't quite find the jump. They will grab the lifestealer in the end. He's got rage available. He'll just use that and walk away. Now his team's there to back him up. James, he'll jump in with the Yules. Gets used up by Kaka though. Now JT, Fire Blast is there. Another Yules will come out. Looks like JT doesn't have any choice in the matter. He is just gone. And CDEC, they don't seem to be done yet. They're looking for even more. So it looks like they won't find anybody.
They will find Roche. Eve does get started on that objective, and they blew everything in the tank for that last fight, so they don't have the epicenter. They don't have any way of taking this fight. It's down to Emo to steal that, but he's not in position. I'm actually a bit surprised IG's not moving up to contest this one. They have the Storm.
Well, they may just not be aware. think they would be. It seems sort of obvious, but
Dire's top tower is under attack.
they won't contest. They won't try for it. They still hold that 3k net worth lead advantage, but as the game goes on, that PA just looks weaker and weaker.
Yeah, it's one of the things with PA. She has some pretty odd power spikes, I have to say. Looking at Fly, level 20 talent did go with the armor corruption, which is great to burst down heroes. For a while, he was actually queuing up that Satanic. I was very curious about that one, although there is an engagement.
Yeah, Ollie going to be the first one down once again. And he'll let the rest of his team know that side of the CDEC is there, and so they'll back off. Still 26 to 22. It does not look like Fly has any sort of MKB underway. He's going to try for the Basher, which is fair enough. But, I don't know. It just doesn't look like the right decision. I mean, if the PA can't even hit the Lifestealer, what's the point?
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one. We did see that to great effect last time. And yeah, I want to see a fight break out just to see how much this is going to get done for Eve. But the fights have been very constricted, and they tend to blow out really fast because of all the burst damage.
Dire's structure.
For Eve now, he'll go ahead and try and secure that bot T1 tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like it'll be absolutely no issue for CDEC. They might even go for another one.
Dire's bottom tower.
They've got the Aegis, there's no reason to really back off here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structure.
Fly.
are fortified.
Still doesn't have the full basher up yet, so not really feeling like fighting. They may try to push in the top tier 2, but no. They won't even go there.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under
Please.
Now,
attack.
I am a bit surprised. You take a look at Eve. He was queuing up... Okay, that was confusing. He queued up the BKB for a while, switches back to the AC. I don't reckon you need a BKB, because your 25,000's insane.
Dire
On
are
Lifestealer, of course, if you have the BKB, you have an insane amount of magic immunity. I think it's probably a bit overkill. So the AC is going to be the name of the game. And it will just make Eve that much harder to kill. We've seen that before. It almost feels like a repeat of the last game for CDEC. They're going the exact same route with Eve. They're building up the same way. And, you know, eventually on the back of one fight, that could be it.
Well, XM now as well has a refresher orb up. So you've got double Nimbus, double Thunder God's Wrath. It's a very painful existence for IG in these team fights as long as XM's alive anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
For now, they will remain safe. CDEC, they'll go for that mid tier 2 tower. IG will push in the bot tier 1, or excuse me, the bot tier 2. Looks like there will be no real defense, but they are going to try and punish. It's a nice smoke coming up from IG.
Dire's middle tower.
Victoria may just break it and does, but they've already found the Burrow Strike. Who do they get? It is the Mirana, but here comes that Nimbus coming out. Now Eve, who are they fighting? They do go straight after the Batrider Emo, trying to take down somebody in this team fight. Eve has already found Ollie though. Now they do find James, but he's still outrunning them. JT may lose his life for this. In fact, James isn't even dead. The Open Woods will heal him up, and JT's gone. They couldn't kill anybody.
How does that happen? You get the jump on James, he doesn't die, and you lose so many heroes as well. That's a massive loss going the way of IG. A great turnaround from CDEC, even if they were the ones being engaged on. And that's going to make it so that they can probably apply some pressure to this tier 3. They don't have the double Nimbus for this high ground push, but they still have a lot going for them.
And Eve's got an Agony. He's still got the Aegis up. Oh, they found the Yules. That is not good, Emo.
No. He zips in, the Nimbus comes down, and the Lightning Bolt as well, he just stays in place.
That is genius by XM. CDEC will take the first racks of the game, 36 minutes into it.
Dire's middle barracks.
You've still got the Aegis. You've still got Lasso. Even if he didn't have the Aegis, I don't know if anyone could take Eve out. Does expire. Eve just going to keep manning up on that tier 3. He'll grab it, and it looks like that's going to be enough for CDEC. They are very happy with what they got. Or maybe not. Maybe they just keep going. I don't disagree with them on this. I think they're in a perfect position to keep this up. Eve will pop the rage. It'll be a very safe range racks now. The thing is, if anyone jumps Eve, 1, 2, 3 is there with the lasso. There's the Moonlight Shadow. They want to secure that bot racks. There's the lasso as well. Kaka will be caught out. JT jumps in with the burrow though. They might find the bat as they will fly. Pops the BKB and goes for that though. Eve, he's falling low. It was all Kaka with a Diabolic Edict doing all the damage. And with that, they are going to find a 4th kill.
That... what? Like, that's just a surprising turnaround. Definitely the kills IG did need, but CDEC, they played really greedy there. They just didn't manage to get as much done. They copped all the damage in the world. They didn't get to really maximize that lasso. And they pay for it. They pay for it really heavily, giving a lot of gold away of IG. IG definitely going to be happy. Still though, they're behind in terms of map control. They've got a lot of catch-up to do. Can they clear out enough objectives in this downtime?
They're going to get a tier 2 mid. Potentially, as Fly is dealing with backdoor protection right now. Now fortification, he might not even find this. Looks like he's going to stick around. Kaka going to TP in, so they want to try and force some buybacks out. That's fair enough. CDEC will not oblige. In fact, JT, he finds Victoria on the Ogre.
Oh, Emo?
He does get arrowed, but there's just no follow-up to it. Everyone's still dead. Oh. Now they found another. XM goes down on the Zeus. Victoria buys back immediately, and they are not done. They're going to try and find a dieback now. In fact, they go straight after the Mirana. Buybacks come out straight out of XM. He takes down JT. He takes down Ollie. BKB forced out from Emo. Just the TP, but look at Eve. Look who he's found. Oh, no. Fly. Goes to the TP. Do you have a lasso? They couldn't blink. 1, 2, 3 couldn't quite blink there. It was on cooldown. Kaka, he'll still be going down at least. Open wounds is there. They'll punish. They only lose their tier 3 tower, but they are forced to buy back quite a bit.
It does look like CDEC still wants to play this aggressively. They are forcing themselves into that high ground, probably going for that melee racks. They force the buyback out.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack. Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
CDEC gonna think twice about pushing the high ground once again. Not yet, at least. They're gonna think about it a bit.
They are waiting for the BKB up on Eve, so they want that added magic immunity. Just allow him to stand those fights. I think that's gonna help massively. The last time he died was because his rage ran out. Just having a BKB is gonna help him. Does look like did he buy it out? Yeah, it's right there. So he can get a lot more done now. That should give him a confidence boost in these fights.
CDEC. Be very nice for them to try and use that 10-second charge on the high ground of IG. They are going to infest up on 1, 2, 3 once again. Moonlight Shadow will come out as well. They see Emo mid, but Emo does have friends around him. 1, 2, 3 though. Sees Fly. Under God's Wrath, and no, he goes straight for that Storm. Get rid of him, and Emo does have buyback. Will he use it though? Yeah, he does. He uses it straight away. Eve though, gonna fight JT in the tree line. Fly. also comes back into this, trying to fight with this lifestealer. Eve is still very healthy. Arrow flies in, hits the PA as well. They try to turn it, but the disruption is there. Now the magic damage with the Epi from JT will be enough control for Eve to go down. Victoria will be chased as well. He gets the Fire Blast off on Kaka, but it may not matter as they do lose Victoria on the Ogre, and it looks like they will lose James on the Mirana. In fact, make that 1-2-3 as well. The buybacks are flying out from the side of CDEC, but it's not going to matter as IG, they are happy with what they've gotten, and they are going to back off.
It's a massive win for IG this time around, turning that fight on its head. That's the 10-second BKB reveal coming out from Eve. He did last a lot longer there. His damage output is not great. He needs his MKB up. He cannot man-fight against a PA. He's facing the same issues that the Gyrocopter in the last game faced as well. He can't hit. So he needs to get that MKB up. Unfortunately, with that buyback, it's going to be a long time until that item is up and running.
As well as that, it may be an idea for somebody on the side of City to finish off a pipe. You've got two people with Hooded Defiances, but no pipes up. So
yeah, that'd be a massive help, but the Roche is just going to go for IG now. That's going to be 2 lives up on one of these heroes. Going to be a hard time to deal with Emo twice over.
He's been a real problem on that Storm. IG just regain a 7k net worth lead. Like, they're still essentially 1 racks or 1.5 racks behind. Just doesn't care though. The net worth is still going to remain their way. Dota Plus is also going to agree. IG apparently have the better chance of winning this game. They will find at least the top tier 2 tower. They can go after this top shrine as well now. CDEC just seemed to be on the back foot. At least Eve has queued up the MKB, but I don't even know if that's going to make all the difference at this point.
I think it would. It's just that it's not going to be coming out at a good time. He had to buy back. He's going to save for buyback again. It's going to be a long process towards that MKB. They don't have a lot of safe spots to farm in. They don't have deep vision out on CDEC's side. It's very risky to go and farm any of these lanes out without that information.
We'll have the Moonlight Shadow being popped by CDEC.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack. Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Emo has the full Bloodthorn up. So now you've got this added damage control for Lifestealer with that Bloodthorn. Really just blow him up after the BKB rage is done. They're going to zip in again. Where do they go? They go straight after that Mirana. They just don't like having James on the field, apparently. Now Fly. Wanted to go after 1-2-3. He'll get rid of this Nimbus first. His BKB is going to be on cooldown as well, so he may not feel comfortable going for another fight. He most certainly is, though. He's just zipping in and out, giving vision. Oh, that's why he's zipping right. He's got a regen rune up.
Regen and Arcane running at the same time. That's pretty balanced.
Storm Spirit's Dream. Looks like IG won't try for the high ground. Again, they didn't have the BKB available on Fly at the time. It was on cooldown. To be fair though, there is no buyback available on the Mirana right now, so it does seem like a decent time to try and fight, but they will not.
It's a bit of a perilous spot now for CDEC. Their high ground defense is pretty darn good with that Zeus, but worst damage from IG is just way up there now. It's very hard for CDEC to take these fights outside. You take a look at that map, the wards still haven't been dropped. No information whatsoever. IG, they have complete control in where they want to go and what they want to do.
It's a lucky bash onto Eve. Burrow Strike will not really stun up as the rage was there for me. Emo just currently across the map, about halfway. CDEC just going to try and continue holding this high ground. They are behind by 18k now though. Things are getting worse and worse as time goes on. Fly, he just wants to pick up that Abyssal Blade, I believe, before he goes, and he does have it up. He just needs to bring it out on the courier.
This slowdown does allow CDEC to slowly work towards those buybacks. And you have about 2 minutes left for Eve. Without that buyback, if they're not going to make a move in that time span, this Lifestealer will be able to help in the defense.
Well, CDEC are going to Moonlight Shadow up. JT in the mid lane would be a decent way to start off this team fight if they could pick him off. They will just go and try to D-ward while they can, it seems. Both teams again just staying away from each other. IG no rush to try and push their advantage. See, Fly is still holding on to that Abyssal Blade recipe. He does buy it out now. He was just saving up for that buyback gold. I believe this will be the item he needs to really feel confident. As the Aegis isn't there anymore in the storm, they do jump Eve. Aeon Disc will proc on JT, so he's perfectly fine. Do you wait up that Aeon Disc now as well?
I think that's giving a bit too much time to CDEC. But at the same time, IG has not felt pressured at all. They feel like they've got the advantage. They most certainly do in terms of net worth. But we've seen that turnaround before. You don't want to risk it too bad. I like the patience coming out from IG. They're just going to try to find a sure thing.
JT gets caught by the Lasso. They've got to jump now. They will not. They'll allow him to die. Emo was across the map again. He can always zip in. Chooses not to, though.
Shadows take us.
See another Moonlight coming out. Got to be very careful if you are IG. We saw this last game from CDEC. They don't mind being behind. They can just come back very, very easily if they play their cards right.
You've got buyback back online for Eve now. So they've managed to wait out the roughest point. CDEC going to be feeling a bit comfier to force fights out. They are playing a lot more aggressive on the map. They're on the opposite side. Taking over IG's jungle, taking out their shrines. So they have some confidence back with the buybacks being online.
The Aeon Disc now on XM as well on the Zeus. And top lane gonna be pushed in by Eve. He'll go ahead and clear out that T2 tower. And Eve is very close to the MKB. He just needs that Demon Edge. He is still holding on to the buyback gold that he needs. IG, you kind of start asking yourself question, have they waited too long?
It's hard to say, right? Because PA scales okay into the late game, kind of the same way that Lifestealer does. They just haven't really maximized it there. The fact that they've been playing against these super creeps for a while means their farm has not really accelerated as much as you'd expect, which keeps CDEC in the game. There is the smoke out now. Perhaps this is the moment IG wants. Forced out that fight. Roche is still a minute and a half away, so that objective is not on the table.
Radiant are
Bot lane, this could be bad. IG, they're smoked up. They don't have the advantage though. Kakai gets caught out with his pants down. He gets lassoed up and he's gone. CDEC starting to play around IG. Get a fair bit of gold out of that as well. Onto Eve.
Yeah, this is scary. You have the MKB up on Eve now. So a lot of that durability on Fly, gone.
Barrow Strike JT jumps in. They go straight after 1, 2, 3. Try to get rid of that Bat Rider. He doesn't have lasso anyway, but Fly just does not want him in the game. Now the zip in Emo going after him as well, but they just can't kill him apparently. He does survive all that damage. Now Eve, he pops his own BKB, found JT, but he's getting kited around quite a lot. As the arrow will not connect and Fly jumps straight on that Mirana. A lot of crits coming out. CDEC saw this lifestealer. He just can't get in range to hit anyone. That seems to be the real issue here. Is just completely kited. And you have a sight device available on Emo as well.
You have the Roshan up now. That is the Aghanims as well. That could be a big one for CDEC. They need the Ags on 1, 2, 3 to get all that control in. They don't check though.
They want to find kills. 1, 2, 3 has the lasso. Emo would be a nice one if they could get the storm.
dire are scared.
They're going to go up top. It'll be Kaka on Thunder God's Wrath comes out a bit late though. You could have probably scouted out before that, but Kaka does go down. Now the team fight starts. Emo just zips in straight away, and they get Eve on that lifestealer. Now Victoria on the Ogre, gonna be in trouble. He'll go down as well. You see 1, 2, 3 trying to outrun JT. He'll be able to get away. But that Thunder God's Wrath, I mean, they could have used it a bit earlier on and then found the Storm or the PA. Rather, they use it as they're approaching the left track.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame there for CDEC. That is going to be the Roche going the way of IG. And that's going to be Ag's blessing. Go straight to Emo. You get that mini black hole. All that control in the world now going to be available for IG. That's terrifying.
They don't even care
they
about
actually
the
give it
chase.
to... They give it to Fly. They give the Ags to Fly. So you have all your spells that could refresh, of course. And your Blur having that cast point.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, every single kill. Blink strike again. Dagger out again.
Oh no. And he's got a double damage. This could be terrifying. Fly. Is he going to find anyone with that DD? James would be an easy target. He runs up. And yeah, he spots him now. 1, 2, 3, he's gone. Now James still gonna be alright, but no, he's not. Fly just destroys him.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Yikes.
Yeah, that is... That's PA with a double damage.
They'll buy back on the Mirana, they'll buy back on the Bat Rider.
Oh, nice arrow.
It is a nice arrow, but there'll be no kind of capitalization. Lifeline gets hit by the arrow as well. Do you jump in with the lasso? Not quite, as your lifestealer is still down. So they'll lose one mid Rax as they jump in. Who have they caught there? It is going to be the Bat Rider, but he'll BKB up. Now the Epicenter lasso straight into the fountain. JT though has his own Aeon Disc, but he's going to be chased down. They'll take it. No, in fact they won't. He eats the cheese. And he will survive. But the arrow does connect as he power strikes out of there. XM has found Kaka on the left track. Now they'll find JT. He'll Yule's up, but he is dead. Ollie, poor old Ollie, getting caught out behind the tree line. He's gone. 3 kills to the way of CDEC. It apparently is still a very even game.
Yeah, they're still finding a lot. I mean, it's a It's an even game, you say. It's 39 to 38. Yes, it's a 32k advantage for IG, and they can't close it out yet. So, CDEC, they've still got the tools in the tank, enough fuel in there to really get this going. It's a bit terrifying if you look at it. Like, all of this could be decided in one fight, and it could go badly for either side if they don't win out.
Eve, hexed up, Fly jumps in, but no, there's 1, 2, 3, but he's copying way too much damage. He got bashed on the first hit from Fly. Now the disarm from Eve comes out on 1, 2, 3. He wants to chase. TP will be okay. He'll make it out. CDEC now will also back off. They will at least force out the buyback from JT.
Oh man, just all these engagements could really just end the game if they don't go right. Both teams playing a bit cautiously, but as aggressive as they can get. And you can really feel the tension in the air, you know? It's like 39, 38, 57 minutes in, yeah, 33k lead for IG. They don't want to fight. They don't want to force it.
Yeah, gonna show down at bot lane. They'd love a lasso on him. Fly will be okay. They got scanned out anyway by the side of IG. XM's getting to the point where he's gonna have a sight device up soon. After that, looks like he wants an Octarine core.
You know, this is the point in the game where the farm does start to pour into your supports.
Ooh. Emo almost getting hit by a rogue arrow.
But yeah, the farm does start to drip into your supports here. And usually you'd see a bit more build-up. James, he has that Aeon Disc, so he has a way of disengaging now. But IG, yeah, they're still trying to build up. Like, they're saving all these buyback, but he's gonna have his Ags up. He has the gold. But when he does get that, he purges. Of course, the charges on his spells could spell the difference in control.
Arrows to fly out. ID just don't seem to have a way into this high ground. Aegis is still there on Emo, but I imagine it will run out very, very soon. And I don't believe they'll actually get any use of it. Top lane has been pushed in. JT will take care of it. He can TP back to his teammates, but they do not want a part of this high ground yet. They're going to get back to farming. But we are approaching that 1 hour mark. And this has happened for every single game today, by the way. Although, bot lane, Fly. Down to 1, 2, 3. Now Victoria gets caught out. So the Batrider's down for 2 minutes. A great opening for IG now.
Definitely so, but they could have gotten more. They didn't have detection in time. Kaka had the gem, but wasn't in range. So they don't find that kill in Victoria still. That is the bat without buyback. And that's massive. That's 3 minutes. He's not going to be having that buyback. About, yeah, just as long on his respawn as well. It's an opening. They really depend on 1, 2, 3 getting that good lasso. This could be what IG needs to get going.
I'll take your tribute.
We've got an Aghanim Scepter up on Ollie now, so you've got 3 Purge charges available. It'll be easier for Fly to clean up with that. In fact, if they get a Burrow Strike off, gotta dodge those arrows, but here comes Emo with the Hex. They have got the Life Stealer, but not quite yet, although they get the bash on Dagger. More arrows to Fly. Won't connect on anybody. Emo again straight onto Victoria, but he's getting quite low. He'll eat the cheese. Get back to it. Another Hex straight on the life. Where's the crits coming out? Not quite, although yeah, they'll finally get him. Epicenter is there from JT, but it's not going to do much. But they do force out the buyback on Eve as the stuns do come out on the PA, but Ollie will save the day. He'll get the Purge up on the Life Stealer as well. They'll force the Infest out. It's starting to look worse and worse for CDEC. 46k net worth lead now for IG. They do get some massive stuns on the PA though. He'll get disrupted up. Ollie, has he just doomed Fly? I think he has. Yeah, he did. Fly will go down. Now James pursuing for more. They'll bind the Yules onto James and Ollie will go down. That'll be the same for JT. He uses himself up, although no, nice blink away to the south. Can they cancel the TP? Yeah, they certainly can. JT has no way out of this one, as CDEC once again push them back, and they do barely save that pot Rax. Though I say that as if the range Rax doesn't have 107 HP, but it does. It's still there.
Oh man, that was... I have no idea what's going on. Like, you take a look... You take a look at that advantage IG has, it's 37k, Mike. They've got at least 13k above the Lifestealer with her Storm, even more with a PA. And they still can't get it done.
Before that team fight, John, they had a 46k net worth lead.
Yeah, it was even higher. And they can't clean it up. I just... massive respect to CDEC, right? They're holding out well. They're really forcing this one to be a hard-fought game. And this is just game 1 in the best of 5, Mike.
Well,
best of 5.
I'm having a look at Dota Plus right now, John. Dota Plus doesn't know what's going on anymore either, apparently.
I mean, look at this. Eve is just working on that range Rax.
Yeah.
That melee Rax. You know, it's just gone. They've evened that out. It's even. You've got the same situation in terms of Rax and map control, but you have so much more gold than IG. This is so reminiscent of that last game we just saw. There was a Divine on the Gyrocopter, yet for some reason Eve was the better carry.
Well, they jump in Hex again on the Batrider. 1, 2, 3. He gets the lasso! Emo! What are you doing?
No!
Emo!
You're getting split pushed, oh Kaka?
Yeah, Kaka's there, but XM's also there. And he may just be dead now, Kaka. Forced the BKB TP out. He'll get out of there as XM can't break the BKB. But now the top racks are under attack. Yeah, I believe it is. They'll buy back on Emo, though. Bash has come out. Infest is there on James, and Emo can't afford to die right now. It'll be a dieback if he does. James getting out of there. Fly jumping on. They get the Hex off, but Eve, he jumps out. Kaka getting saved by the disruption. Eve, though, going to stick around. Still the Yule's there on Kaka, but he is dead. He does have buyback. Now JT jumps in, but they have no vision. Aeon Disc gets procced. He procs his BKB as well, but now the lasso, they caught Ollie on the Shadow Demon. Emo will jump in, trying to help out Ollie. Fly straight on the Batrider. Now the epicenter from JT, not doing any damage to Eve on the Lifestealer, but they do manage to get 1, 2, 3. Arrow does connect on the PA though, coming out from James. It will not matter as IG, they are going to punish heavily towards the side of CDEC. But the buybacks are flying out. They've got to be careful to overextend too far. Victoria goes down as well. Eve just going to make a run for it. Emo trying to zip his way in. He does go to the back where XM has shown up. The Infest, Aeon Disc has been procced. They can't actually find him. In fact, no. Emo, he gets turned on. It's a lot of damage. Not quite enough though, as they find 1, 2, 3 again on the Batrider. He BKBs up. He gets the Yules off on the PA. He should just be dead though. No, he gets the lift off the blink off just in time.
Oh my god.
What is this game?
Oh, that was one hell of a fight coming from both teams. It looks wonky for both sides in the end. That is still a massive gold swing going the way of CDEC, despite them committing their buybacks. This is going to be the Roche going the way of IG uncontested. That is the refresh plus the Aghanim blessing now. Who are they going to give that blessing to? It should be the Storm at this point, but he does not have inventory space. They do actually give it to JT instead. So he has that insane Burrow Strike. And that's just going to probably throw a big dent in CDEC. They probably don't expect that. And it's something a bit worrying for these team fights now.
You really think they don't expect it, John? I mean, they were 46k net worth behind.
I don't know what they expect anymore, Mike. All I know is they're holding out at 65, 46 to 44, 37k advantage for IG. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have a Storm who has 34k in his bank. A PA, 45k. Doesn't matter. It's not closing out the game. And CDEC is making this a very, very painful game for IG. Every single inch that IG takes is costly, littered with blood. And they can't close out the game. They can't close out this game just yet. I wonder how long CDEC can do this, because they are doing so well. I think the one issue CDEC has is that they don't have enough farm in 1-2-3. They've got to give this guy space. He only has 12k in the bank. If this guy had an Ags or a Refresher, you would see the pace of this game just really change. All that control going out, piercing through BKB. Yeah, I think that would really set it. But unfortunately, 1-2-3 just can't get that done.
Fly, he has a double damage rune up. This could be massive. Smoke will be there. They want to sneak their way into this. There's not many buybacks left across the map. Eve pops his rage, jumps in. Kaka will be the target. No, Lasso is there on the Leshrac, so get rid of Kaka, but zip in straight away. They'll get 1-2-3 on the Batrider. He has no buyback available. Now they're on Eve. The Lifestealer does go down. Emo finds him. Now they go on Victoria on that Ogre. This could be over. They take him out as well. It's a 3-for-1 trade. No buybacks on any of the cores of CDEC. As Fly jumps back in. They won't quite find James. Arrows fly out. They're going to try and hold this. They are going to get Megged though. But it's not over until the throne goes down. Emo jumps in. Side device is there on James. Looks like he will be gone. He gets the Yules off at least. Tries to leap into the fountain but will not be successful in doing so. The T4s are going to be under siege by IG. It's only XM left on the Zeus. How much can he do by himself?
Wow.
He's trying. They haven't given up yet, John. He's actually giving it a shot, but they'll dive the fountain. They'll make him give up. The buyback's available. He'll try as well. Epicenter though, Fly. Just jumps in, cleans up. And, I mean, what a game number one for a best of 5. IG almost throwing that away to CDEC. They were very close to losing this game, but they do manage to close it out. And we potentially have 4 more games coming.
I mean, what a game. What plays coming out from both teams. That was game 1. It felt like game 5 to me, Mike. I thought we were done for today because that was way too tight from both teams. But that's just going to set the pace here. IG coming in with a 1-game advantage. We'll see whether or not CDEC can bounce back. They have a lot more going for this day. Should be really fun to watch this one unfold, Mike.
It certainly should be. As you guys can see, we've already got into the lobby. So we'll be right back with you guys in just a second. It is MLP Dota and Dronix Fire. Shouldn't be too long before game number 2 does start.